Excellencies, hosts, organizers, and participants of this summit. In a few days, Russian illegal and unprovoked aggression on Ukraine will have lasted 28 months. It has been 2.5 years of war crimes and crimes against humanity committed by the Russian regime and the Russian army all over Ukraine. This war is not only brutal and full of crimes, it is imperial and colonial in its nature. The Kremlin intends to enslave the Ukrainian people, their children, use Ukraine's resources, destroy their culture, and deprive Ukraine of the right to freely choose its development path and security arrangements. In the part of the world which I represent, Russia is often called the prison of nations, and for good reason, because it is home to almost 200 ethnic groups, most of which became residents of Russia as a result of the methods used in Ukraine today. Russia remains the largest colonial empire in a world which, unlike European powers, has never undergone the process of decolonization and has never been able to deal with the demons of its past. As members of the international community, we have to finally say there is no more space for colonialism in the modern world. I want to state clearly, it is solely Moscow who is responsible for the war, but it does not mean that Russia is acting alone. I'm referring here to the shameful role that Putin's puppet in Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, has played in this war while oppressing his own people. I want to remind everyone that not only did he allow the Russian army to attack Ukraine from the territory of Belarus, but he also initiated a series of hybrid attacks against the Baltic states and Poland's eastern borders, attacks which have lasted for 3 years. Ladies and gentlemen, Ukraine, as a victim of a full-scale military aggression, has the full right to defend its sovereignty and independence by any means that are in accordance with the international law. And it is the obligation of the entire international society to spare no efforts in supporting Kyiv in its struggles. The peace agreement that will eventually be worked out has to ensure the sovereignty of Ukraine, full practical capabilities to defend its independence, as well as free and unimpeded right to shape its internal and foreign policies without Moscow's influence. Excellencies, the road to achieving lasting peace will be long and full of challenges. I appreciate the decision of organizers of this event to focus on less controversial issues. I hope that the progress made in those areas will allow us to further pressure the Kremlin to stop the aggression and withdraw its forces from Ukraine in its internationally recognized borders. The success of this initiative depends on bringing on board a vast representation of UN members and supporting the UN Charter. Only with broad international support and comprehensive consultations can we work out a basis for the future peace agreement. This also could and should serve as a universal basis for peace agreements in other conflicts. Thank you.